What is up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Now, we're going to talk about the wide receivers in this video that win in round one. We did running backs. Let's hit on these wide receivers now. So, of course, we have JSN that came off the board first, right? He goes to the Seattle Seahawks. Love the spot. Love the spot for him. Now, they do have Tyler Lockett. They do have DK Metcalf. We've seen what Lockett can do even with DK Metcalf there, especially last year, right? So JSN fits in perfectly because Lockett is now what, 31 years old, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So he's an older guy who's most likely not even going to be on the team after next season. So JSN fits perfectly in the slot with those two guys outside. And again, we can expect Lockett to kind of be gone most likely after next season. And don't expect right off the bat for JSN to just come out with a bang. This might gradually happen over the season, but he'll start to take and take and take little by little. He'll take targets away from Tyler Lockett because he's just that good. He commands targets. He's going to be in that slot. He's going to be Geno's best friend. And then you've got DK on the other side. So I love this for JSN. This doesn't change anything about what we have thought before. I think he can still be the wide receiver one in the offense, even with DK there. But that is going to happen over a little bit of time. It's not going to be, from day one. So we can't expect that to happen from day one. But he was the best wide receiver in the class. He was my wide receiver one. He still is. Nothing changes there. Now, what's going to happen after Geno Smith leaves? What are they even going to do with Geno Smith? Is he going to continue being the quarterback? Are they going to give him another contract after this? He is still relatively young. I mean, not young, but what is he, 32? I think 33. So he does have a few years where he can still be the quarterback if Seattle chooses to do that. This offense now is looking really good. You've got Kenny Walker, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and now JSN in there. So love the offense, love the spot for JSN. He's probably slotting like right around the wide receiver 12-ish mark for me, probably right after a Drake London-ish. But love the spot for JSN. He's still the 102 in one quarterback leagues. He's still the 105-ish in Superflex leagues. And I'm not opposed to you taking him at 104, 103 if you can't find a suitor to trade back at that pick if somebody needs a quarterback. In a perfect spot going to the Chargers. Now, I didn't love that they chose Quentin Johnston. I thought like Zay Flowers might have been a better option for them because he can run routes a little bit better, more of that Keenan Allen type where he can kind of go all over. But I'm not mad at it. But QJ from the jump has had the highest upside in this class, but has the lowest floor. Now, the one thing I do love about going to the Chargers, obviously, number one is going to be the QB situation, right? They have Justin Herbert. He can grow with Justin Herbert. Number two, he went to a good team to where he's not going to be relied upon to be that number one wide receiver. We know that QJ was going to be a little bit of a project. He was going to be a little bit raw. They're going to have to work with him a little bit. And now that he doesn't have to be the number one guy, that you have Keenan Allen and you have Mike Williams, you even have Joshua Palmer there, he can learn how to be better. He can learn how to get off the ball more, beat that press coverage. He can learn how to try and catch the ball with his hands more than his body. He can learn more to try and high point that football and use his height to take advantage. He can learn to run better routes and expand his route tree. So he's not going to be relied upon right away to be that guy. So I really like that for Quentin Johnston as well, because sometimes we see it with some of these wide receivers. We have such high hope for them, but they're still raw. They have potential, but then they're just in a bad situation right away. They're the wide receiver one, and you're not able to, grow. You're not able to mature. You're not able to learn things at the proper rate. And sometimes it just doesn't work out. So being that QJ went to the Chargers, I love it. It's a great spot for him. He'll probably move up a lot of people's draft boards. But again, kind of just like JSN, like don't expect anything right out of the gate. Now, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both have been injured, last year. So maybe he does get that opportunity. So a ton of upside for Quentin Johnston. And you could really mix match any of these guys, really 2 through 4, kind of however you like it. I'm not mad at it either way. That you can make the case for any of those guys. And you can again, Quentin Johnston, highest upside, but also the lowest floor. So if you don't want to take those chances and want to take a more safe receiver like a Jordan Addison, then I'm okay with that as well. Zay Flowers, the third wide receiver off the board, the wide receiver 3, in my opinion, now of the class after this draft. And he goes to the Ravens, where a lot of people might not like that spot. I actually do like that spot. I don't mind it. And I know, oh, the Ravens never have had a wide receiver. They've never able to support a wide receiver. Lamar Jackson runs the ball so much. And yes, he does. And I agree with those things 100%. But let's not forget that we do have a new offensive coordinator in there. We've got Lamar who just signed a new deal. Maybe they get away from that, right? Maybe they do throw the ball a lot more. Now you do have weapons on the outside. Maybe you do throw the ball more than what you've done in the past and utilize some of these wide receivers, utilize trying to give Lamar more longevity where he doesn't have to rely on his legs unless he absolutely has to. Get rid of those designed runs and have Lamar throw the ball from the pocket more. So is he going to be able to do that? We'll see. But I love Zay Flowers here. I mean, he's a guy who can line up all over. He's probably going to be lining up in the slot, I would think, right away. So you've got Mark Andrews and you've got Zay Flowers on the inside. You've got OBJ on the outside there. You've got Bateman on the other side, as long as those guys can stay healthy, of course. And you've got a pretty good offense with JK and Gus in the backfield as well. So, this is a team that can change possibly their style of play. So it will be interesting to see if Lamar does throw the ball more. But I really do love Zay Flowers, especially for the future. We don't know what's going to happen with Bateman after that contract's up. OBJ's on the 1 year. So I actually really do like the spot for Zay Flowers because I think as an overall talent, like he was my wide receiver too, like talent wise, I've kind of got to put Quentin Johnston just a little bit above him right now. It's still a toss up. Like I said, you can go either way on any of these guys, Addison as well. Just depends. Do you want to go with the upside or do you want to go with the safer floor? And the last wide receiver of that wide receiver run that happened was Jordan Addison, went to my Minnesota Vikings. Now, I at first thought we were going to definitely take Will Levis because he fell. And I was like, "Oh man, we're going to take Will Levis. We're going to trade Kirk Cousins. We're going to start all over." And that didn't happen. We wound up taking Jordan Addison. Now, we need defense because our defense is horrible, but we wound up taking Jordan Addison. And I was excited about it. I was happy about it. We got another threat on offense across from Justin Jefferson. So now we got the nucleus. We got Justin Jefferson, we've got Addison, and we've got TJ Hawkinson. We still got Kirk Cousins. We're going to have to extend him, especially if we want this offense to run smoothly. So now we got to stock up on defense. But Jordan Addison, awesome spot to go to the Minnesota Vikings. We've been saying it since the beginning, or at least I have. Jordan Addison is more of a wide receiver 2 or like a 1B, you can say. The Devonta Smith 2.0 needs that A.J. Brown across from him to reach his kind of full potential. And I absolutely love this spot for Jordan Addison. Gets to play across from JJ. We saw Adam Thielen be a top 12 wide receiver with JJ that rookie season, and he was on his way to do it again that next season before he got hurt. So Addison is definitely going to get enough volume. He could very well see, 100-ish targets, maybe more. I mean, don't forget, you got Thielen gone now, but now you also have TJ Hawkinson. That remains to be seen. He'll have his opportunity to, show us what he can do in the NFL. Now, I think his ceiling is a little bit capped because JJ is there, but his floor is very safe. So I think you can feel very safe with picking a Jordan Addison. So that would be my order of them. It would be JSN, QJ, Zay Flowers, and then Addison. I'm not mad if you switch it up either which way. Guys, let me know what you think. What is the order that you have these wide receivers in? Do you like some of these spots? Do you not like some of these spots? Do you agree with some of these things I said? Let me know down there in the comments, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you do play Dynasty football. Thanks for tuning in.